we're often being asked why we concentrate on selling only jewelry. What is so special in jewelry e-commerce? How selling jewelry is difficult and how we can use this understanding to improve our sales. Many e-commerce people say, if I know to sell electronics, I will be able to sell jewelry too. Or if I specialize in selling even real estate, which is not simple online, I will be able to sell jewelry too. And here we try to stress many simple and very important aspects that help to improve understanding how selling jewelry is different and how it works. First, we have to start with the very important understanding that jewelry is not a standardized product. It's very different if you sell an iPhone or some electronics or some camera, or you're trying to sell a ring. Basically, while selling a standard product, it's very easy to compare between your offer and offer of somebody else. What is your price? What insurance you provide, or what are your guarantees, and what is your store? This is mostly what decides about selling the electronics, for example, because the same item, exactly the same item, can be bought in many different stores. Now, when we deal with non-standard product like jewelry, first of all, it's hard to compare. How can you compare an engagement ring produced by one jeweler to some engagement ring produced by another jeweler? There is no way, nobody who can clearly state what is the difference and how to price it. So this lack of ability to standardize all the jewelry brings us to the situation when there is no clear price for the product. So on one side, it helps us to price the items as we want. On the other side, we have to work harder to understand if our products are competitive, if we're pricing our products correctly. For a standard product, we can use repricing algorithms. There are many automatic repricing tools which helps us to define, okay, can I be competitive on eBay or on Amazon with a specific item, with some variation of the Canon camera with a specific lens. I can use the tools to know exactly, and I can simply take a look on the marketplace to know exactly if my price is correct and update it according to where I want to position my store. Now, in jewelry, we have no such thing like ASIN number or BIN, so we can easily find our item and offer our jewelry, let's say, even a few dollars cheaper to win the competition. Now, this is one thing. Another thing, this also brings to a relatively high percentage of fraud. The regular buyer who buys some electronics or some other standard product knows exactly how it should look like, what are the quality, how it will behave. When we sell jewelry, actually the buyer does not know for sure what the jewelry should look like and how it will behave. So there are many sellers who simply use it for fraud. So selling jewelry requires from us to create additional level of trust by the buyers so that they will prefer our product to these fraud items. Another thing that we have to take into account that many items are unique. Why is it so important? When we sell a product everywhere, whether it's eBay or Etsy or Amazon or Banzo, whatever it takes, or using our social stores, we create some history of the product. Now this history starts to work for the product. If we have some necklace that was sold 20 times, and for example, if it was sold on eBay, it has 20 positive feedbacks during the last 3 months or half a year, it becomes a very strongly pushed by eBay. But when we have unique items, like for example, we have some necklace with a specific diamond, which is one of a kind, or which is certified by GIA, Geological Institute of America. So once it is sold, the specific gemstone is sold, so this item cannot be recreated again. What happens in this case? We cannot create the history, the positive history of the product on the marketplace. So we have to work harder to create trust by clients so that they know that this item is good enough. Selling jewelry means additional thing, which is bundling. Bundling in jewelry is very much difficult from bundling in electronics or fashion or other stuff. When we sell jewelry online, it means very often we prefer to sell the same item like gemstone, especially gemstones. It can be sold as a loose gemstone and inside some item. Now, this brings us to very interesting conclusion. Most of jewelry sold online is actually not a real product. It's a virtual product. It means if I have some semi-mount ring, the ring without the central stone, I can put any central stone once it was ordered. So if I want to use this ability to price the items correctly, I will be able to create the same item with different stones. Even if we take diamonds which look on the photography the same, I can use it with the 60 point carat diamond, 70 point, 65 points carat diamond, and it will be priced differently. So most items, from our experience, most items on marketplaces that allow it, of course, are virtual. And it's very different because we actually don't have to create the stock. We have our gemstones separately, and we have our jewelry or our models separately. In many cases, we know that the item does not exist at all until it was sold, and only when sold it's being produced. Because of the production, if created correctly, can create a very strong competitive advantage. If you'll be able to produce your jewelry in 3 days, in 2-3 days, it means you don't have to handle any stock. On the other hand, there are many variations of the same jewelry, which means once we want to produce stock, especially in fashion jewelry, it will take us quite a lot of a budget, because the same jewelry can be produced in different sizes with different materials like rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, or different stones like onyx or quartz if it's in fashion jewelry. And once we want to use some advanced fulfillment techniques which are very helpful online, sending items to some fulfillment center close to our client can improve our sales very on a very high level. This is very difficult for us with different variations, because if we want to send some ring close to our clients, we have to send it in 10 different sizes. Another thing that creates even problems in many cases, that jewelry, again, being a non-standard product and being a wearable product, has actually to be worn to know that it's okay. Unlike buying a digital camera or even an umbrella or a chair, buying a ring, you will be able to feel it and try it only once you have it on your hands. And this means you have to be very cautious, and you have to be very service-oriented, because in many cases buyers might mistake in their ring size and ask to return the item, even that the item is okay, or in some cases they might kindly ask you to refund some part of the purchase, so that they will be able to go to the local jeweler to resize their item, or to change the clasp, or some other adjustment to be done. So again, unlike buying a mobile phone, in jewelry you know that it matches to the person only once it's on its body. This is why in the last time it can be clearly seen that many sellers, good high quality sellers, put video in the product page, and preferably we strongly recommend to put items, the photos of your product on the person, because only by seeing your earring on the ear it is possible to understand how it will basically look like. Jewelry is a visual product. In many cases, taking pictures of your products is not critical. This is not the case with jewelry. Unlike buying some mobile phone or some electronics, the buyer has no idea, no way to know what he buys, unless from your pictures and videos. This is why it is very important to invest in the correct creation of photos. We warmly advise to find the in-house solution for this case, because this will allow you to produce as many pictures as the market needs. In many cases we hear some requests by buyers that say, I would like to have another few pictures, for example, on the hand, on the body, or for some other reason in different color, or in different light even. So for this reason, we very much recommend that the photography will be done in-house. So again, selling jewelry is very special because it's a visual product, and pictures in this case play a critical role. Additional point is that buying jewelry is an emotional purchase. So when selling jewelry, we very much have to know how to catch the client in the right moment, and what is his emotional situation, emotional state, so that the sell will be done correctly. It's not like buying, again, the camera or a cell phone. There is some occasion that occurs. Maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's a wedding, maybe some other reason, Mom's Day or Father's Day. But again, it's very emotional purchase, and we have to address the emotional side of the purchase to sell better. Two additional aspects belong to the macro of the international selling. which is selling jewelry requires some certification. Unlike selling an iPhone or some Canon camera, in many cases, to create trust. Again, we all the time speak about trust because it's a non-standard product. We have to create some external certification, certificate of origin, or some certification by external gemological institute to prove that we are selling a good product. Additional thing is the legislation issues. Not all countries allow importing or exporting jewelry, especially when it's fine jewelry, gold jewelry, diamond jewelry, from one country to another country. So before starting and deciding to enter the international e-commerce in jewelry, this is the issue that you have to address, checking if you will be able to sell to your target country, how you will be handling the returns from one country into another back to your country because of the legislation of importing and exporting jewelry, fine jewelry again, and diamonds, and the logistics. The last thing, the logistics is very important. Not all carriers agree to send expensive jewelry. Not all carriers can provide all the solutions for sending diamond jewelry, gold jewelry, etc., etc. So these are the things that can play a very critical role in deciding whether you will be able to export your jewelry worldwide. Please subscribe, ask your questions. We will be glad to discuss your questions and provide all our experience, and feel free to communicate with us and have a good business.